The channel that you choose, we're coming back to YouTube. Make sure you turn on the notifications.
Yeah.
Set it. Time to get
Alien Tricks.
Looks like you lost a number.
Yeah.
my bread, my paper already.
You ready? Alright, I'm thinking.
Already. Trench. They used to say words couldn't hurt me. Videos, just my name, they getting thirsty. Go ahead and put them in a hearse. It's getting murky, this time I deserve things. I'm ready for whatever war said. He been a matador, skin for the things I'm dreaming for. I'm eating caviar, true definition of R&R. Revolutionary rebel, right or wrong. Take them back when the flag was a little dirty. All night we've been working, squad really lurking. Overnight, overtime like I'm from New Jersey. Brick City for real, finito, never worry. Nowadays I bring a carry-on with a girl so bad, sex like I hit the styrofoam. New York women love, they should sing along. Philadelphia women, I wanna marry y'all. In Boston, legs tossing, put her in the coffin. Legs cracked, so I know she don't do it often. I'm in my prime, she exhausted. I told her take the X pill that she had offered. I don't need it, I'm blessed with a penis that turn these women demon. Check YouTube if you don't believe it. Me and Shooter at the beach on bending knee, about to make it real scenic. They used to say words couldn't hurt me. Videos, just my name, they getting thirsty. Go ahead and put them in a hearse. It's getting murky this time.
For those of you who can't read or you're driving, so you're just listening to the music. With deep disappointment and apology to those seeking crucial changes, I resign from my position as Special Envoy for Haiti, effective immediately. I will not be associated with the United States' inhumane, counterproductive decision to deport thousands of Haitian refugees and illegal immigrants to Haiti, a country where American officials are confined to secure compounds because of danger posed by armed gangs in control of daily life. Our policy approach to Haiti remains deeply flawed, and my recommendations have been ignored and dismissed when not edited to project a narrative different from my own. The people of Haiti, mired in poverty, hostage to terror, kidnappings, robberies, and massacres of armed gangs, and suffering under a corrupt government with gang alliances, simply cannot support the forced infusion of thousands of returned migrants lacking food, shelter, and money without additional avoidable human tragedy. The collapsed state is unable to provide security or even basic services, and more refugees will fuel further desperation and crime. Surging migration to our borders will only grow as we add to Haiti's unacceptable misery. Haitians need immediate assistance to restore the government's ability to neutralize the gangs and restore order through a national police. They need a true agreement across society and political actors with international support to chart a timely path to the democratic selection of their next president and parliament. They need humanitarian assistance, money to deliver COVID vaccines, and so many other things. But what our Haitian friends really want and need is the opportunity to chart their own course without international puppeteering and favored candidates, but with genuine support for that course. I do not believe that Haiti can enjoy stability until her citizens have the dignity of truly choosing their own leaders fairly and acceptably. Last week, the U.S. and other embassies in Port-au-Prince issued another public statement of support for the unelected de facto Prime Minister Ariel Henry as interim leader of Haiti, and have continued to tout its political agreement over another border. Earlier accords shepherded by civil society. The hubris that makes us believe we should pick the winner again is impressive. This cycle of international political interventions in Haiti has consistently produced catastrophic results. More negative impacts to Haiti will have calamitous consequences not only in Haiti, but in the U.S. and our neighbors in the hemisphere. Sincerely, Daniel Foote. So instead of helping the problem, you vacate. All right. All right. Let's do this. Let's play I Stand With Haiti game. Bring this one on.
It's your favorite Loke, especially after I spoke. Support the real again. Get rid of the fake, the F you to the industry. How do you fight back? It's simple. All you got to do is just press subscribe, then join the movement over there on Instagram at CEDDYNASH. One word. That's where you and I can stay in contact. Plus, I'm going to like your pictures and all that. We had 75,000, so we done maxed. But when I can, I'm going to follow you back. To the crew, that's the truth. With the visionaries. Let's get into it.
I'm pissed. I'm unhappy, and I'm not just unhappy with the cowboys who were running down Haitians and using their reins to whip them. I'm happy with the administration. We are following the Trump policy. He is the one that does not follow the Constitution and would not allow those seeking refuge to be able to petition to get into the country. What the hell are we doing here? What we witnessed takes us back hundreds of years. What we witnessed was worse than what we witnessed in slavery. Cowboys with their reins again, whipping black people, Haitians, into the water where they're scrambling and falling down when all they're trying to do is escape from violence in their country. Yes, it is unfortunate that it is the poorest country in this hemisphere. It is unfortunate that they have no stable government right now. It is unfortunate that they've had to live through earthquakes. I've been working with Haitians for 30 years. I've been working through 2 coups d'etats. I went to the Central African Republic and I brought back Aristide after he was exiled into the Central African Republic. They have always been between Canada and France and the United States treated worse than anybody else. And so, yes, we are here and we're organized and we're saying to the president and everybody else, you got to stop this madness. And I want to know in the first place, who's paying these cowboys to do this work? They've got to be gotten rid of. They've gotten to be stopped.
I'll give Auntie Maxine this. She's talking about Title 42. We'll make that a whole nother video. If we get 1,000 likes, if we get 1,000 likes in this video, I will make the Title 42 video to go into what she's talking about when she says that. That's part of it. But, hi Auntie, how you doing? It's so glamorous and so strong and boisterous and all that. Where was that when Chile and Mexico was doing that to them? Giving them inhumane places to stay, basically kicking them out of their country. Auntie, before I play this video, you're old enough to remember Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, George H. Bush, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, Obama. 6666, right? Same policies were in place. So you're blaming Trump, number 7, and number 8. Now, Biden. It could be it's just U.S. policy. It just could be. Carter, Reagan, Bush, Clinton, Bush, Obama, Trump, Biden. That sounds like U.S. policy to me. But where was your hate with this one right here?
They call them cités, large properties subdivided into small quarters where one or more families live cramped together, often sharing a bathroom with up to a dozen other families. They're the only option for many Haitian migrants in Chile, like Jean SANAFAIT.
The kitchen doesn't work, the bathroom too, but it's difficult for us to rent here. In Haiti, my children each have their own room. I would never bring them here.
Chile has the largest Haitian migrant community outside of the United States. and it's public knowledge that they're exploited by unscrupulous landlords. And now with the coronavirus pandemic, they're being discriminated further. A few weeks ago, this cité with 88 rooms became nationwide news. Health authorities moved the Haitian residents to a special quarantine area with better facilities. But first, the results of their coronavirus tests were published on the municipality's webpage, violating a patient's right to confidentiality. The news spread like wildfire. Even before the cameras arrived, the neighbors began throwing rocks and hurling insults at the Haitians because a few of them had been confirmed to be carrying coronavirus. Now they tell us that they feel even more discriminated and vulnerable than ever. The fear of the virus has only increased the stigmatization of Haitians, says Ralph Jean-Baptiste, who works as a community translator.
The community is very angry and upset. If they'd been from Europe, from Germany, this would not have happened.
Ralph is always dressed impeccably because he says it helps to counter constant disrespect of blacks by Chileans.
People say, "Get out, you blackie." There's cruel discrimination here that we can't ignore.
It's made worse because many Haitian migrants don't speak Spanish and don't know their rights.
With
very precarious living conditions, it's even more difficult for them to survive in a pandemic. They're charged extortionate rents, which many can't afford. The virus doesn't discriminate, but we do.
The governor of Santiago's metropolitan region agrees that many migrants are living in inhumane conditions. But when we asked why authorities haven't stopped landlords from renting unsanitary and overcrowded living quarters, he blamed the mayors. The truth is that authorities have constantly turned a blind eye to a sanitary and human rights dilemma that is punishing those who came here for a better life as never before. Lucia Newman, Al Jazeera, Santiago.
A community of Haitian migrants has been in Tijuana for nearly a decade, fleeing a devastating earthquake, hurricanes, financial collapse, and now deep political instability and violence as an unpopular president tries to hold on to power in Port-au-Prince. Many Haitians are stuck in Tijuana, fearful that by crossing the border, they'll be sent right back to Haiti, but unable to make a life for themselves in Mexico. When a migrant camp was established in February at the El Chaparral port of entry in Tijuana, hundreds of Haitians set up tents, hoping that they would soon be allowed to declare asylum in the U.S. Dorleon Ito was one of the Haitians we met when the camp opened. He'd been living in Tijuana for a year. Ito had spent 5 years working in Chile, but the discrimination there was intense. He was trying to get into the United States, even though he feared possibly being returned to Haiti.
No tiene nada Haití, no tiene la familia, no tiene dinero para salir a Haití. Y por eso me quiere salir, pero me tiene miedo todavía, mucho miedo. Y me piensa, pero si voy ahí, te vas a morir, te vas a matar, pasando hambre no pasa nada, pero se vas a matar.
A rule known as Title 42 bars the entry of any asylum seekers into the U.S. during the COVID-19 pandemic. Border Patrol has been immediately sending border crossers back to Mexico or their countries of origin. Since the beginning of the Biden administration, more children, families, and single adults have been able to enter the U.S. and continue their asylum claims from inside the United States. At the same time, interior immigration enforcement has been scaled back. But that hasn't held true for Haitian migrants. The Biden administration has removed over 1,200 Haitians from the United States. That's more than during all of Trump's final fiscal year in office. A group of lawyers and advocates for the Haitian community traveled down to Tijuana last month in an effort to connect with the Haitian asylum seekers and make sure they're safe. What they found wasn't reassuring. The Haitians were leaving the camp because they felt discriminated against by the Central American migrants.
A lot of Haitians feel like they're discriminated against because of their race and because they can't speak Spanish, or they speak Spanish with an accent or a funny accent.
Christian Nestor is a Haitian American lawyer who works with the Haitian Bridge Alliance. He says many Haitians have gone broke in Mexico.
So a lot of Haitians are stuck here, and their workers authorization has expired, so they don't really have any way to make any money.
But a lot of the Haitians who cross the border now will be sent quickly back to Haiti.
There are a lot of Haitians who are very scared of returning to Haiti because people are waiting for them to return, and it's a big island, but it's small at the same time, you know? People know each other.
He doesn't believe that the treatment of Haitians in the American immigration system, or the role that the U.S. has played in supporting the current regime in Haiti, has deterred anyone from coming to the U.S.
Even with the checkered kind of history, the United States is the land of opportunity, and people really want that chance to live that American dream.
Many Haitians have jumped the border fence in recent weeks, tired of the racism and willing to risk being returned to Haiti. Asking around the camp last week, Dorleon Ito was nowhere to be found. He's possibly now one of the thousands of Haitians who came to the border looking for asylum and decided to risk return to a dangerous country for a small chance of being allowed to stay in America. In Tijuana, Max Adler, KPBS News.
So, almost a decade ago, you were in office, and those videos were from last year. You were in office. Where was the where was the pissed off part at? Donde prima? Yo no sé. See, this is the thing. Saturday Nash is not a liberal. Sorry, liberals, if you ever thought I was on your side. I'm not. Now, for anybody who's like, well, Nash, you voted for Joe Biden. I did, and I would vote for him again. Because Joe Biden's going to capitulate. Trump would have doubled down. I ain't going to lie. Trump wouldn't have did shit. He would have did and enacted Title 42. This video hits 1,000 likes. I will explain to you what Title 42 is with no bias. It's kind of what I do. I tell you, come on. That's political theater for you. Come on, baby. We know what we doing out here. Y'all realize the George Floyd Justice Act just failed? But let's string along this guy. And then I want to play a video right afterwards because the racists in the back are killing me. You can't be racist in how there's no racism. Like, that's just stupid. But let's run this guy real quick.
To my left is the former U.S. ambassador to South Africa,
Why are you not being
Patrick Gaspar,
at the border?
and to his
40% of children
right
that have come into the country are now missing from the
Jennifer
border.
Jones Austin.
Kids are being
Then
sedated
we
at
have
the U.S.
Reverend
border.
Jamal
Why are you not being
Bryant
a voice for the children?
From Atlanta, Georgia, New Birth Baptist Church, Reverend Freddie Haynes.
Why are you stoking racism where it doesn't exist?
Of the
Why are you
West
trying to
Baptist
come and
Church.
promote violence? Why are you here advocating for violence?
Rainbow
Why
Push
are you
Coalition.
here advocating for
We
violence?
went for an
Del Rio
hour
is not a
and
racist city.
toured
Del Rio is a
the
loving, caring
place
community.
that we
We don't
feel
want your racism
is
in Texas.
a
Get out of
real
here.
catastrophic
Nobody wants to hear your racist
human
nonsense
disgrace
in Del Rio.
as
You're a
people
disgrace. You're a racist.
around
Nobody
this
wants
world
you in
watch
Texas.
the border
Nobody
patrol
wants
do
you in
slavery
Texas.
like
Why are you not a voice for the
police
children that have gone
matters
missing
on
at the
horses.
border?
It
Where are your
compelled us to
voice
come
then?
and
Get out
show
with your
our
racism.
voices
Get
and
out
our
with your
presence.
reverse racism.
The Trump
Get out of
supporters
here.
and the
Texas
right
does not want your
wingers
nonsense.
can scream all they
This is
want.
a loving
We're going to continue
community.
to come back.
We denounce
We're
your
going to stand
racism
with our
and your
people
hatred.
to make
Get out
sure
of
that
Texas.
asylum
Get
is
out of
treated in
Texas.
one way, in
People.
one manner.
here
And
for
we will
America,
continue to
not
come
just
back
for your people.
over
Where are you
and
speaking
over
up for
again.
Americans?
For
Why
people
are
to
you
be
trying
treated
bring
like
up
this
Get that out of
in a
your
humane
head.
way,
Put that in
and
your head.
for people
Speak up
to
for
feel
children
that
that
they
are
can
being
use
trafficked through the
weaponization of horses
Why are you
to
not
treat
afraid?
human
Nobody
beings
can
should
get
be
it.
resisted. So they can have all the hecklers they want. They should do all they can. We will keep coming back as long as it's necessary. We want to see the Border Patrol fully investigated We want those that were convicted to face justice, and we want to see full asylum rights given to those that deserve it, like anyone else in this country that enters this country. We cannot have a double standard at the border. We will not tolerate it, we will not have it, and we will not be silent about it.
The White House condemned U.S. Border Patrol agents on Monday who were seen using a whip-like cord to block Haitian migrants carrying supplies into the U.S. from Mexico.
Al, you're needed in places like Florida. You're needed in places like Chicago. You're needed in places like Los Angeles. You're needed in places like New York. You're needed in places like Oakland, San Francisco, Philadelphia, Houston, Texas. You're needed in places like those. But you're not there. Maybe because there's real danger. See, here's the thing. Where Al goes, cameras follow. And what he doesn't understand is you have a little bit of power and you are needed. Without you, and I will give you full credit for this, without you, the Stephen Clark case and law would not exist. And it has saved lives to this day. I will give you your credit, Mr. Sharpton. But I will also call you out on your bullshit. I just will. I just will. Because you know, and I know, political theater. I dare do all who may become a man. Who does more is none. Right? That's Shakespeare right there. Yo, want some more Shakespeare? You want some more Shakespeare? All right. I'm not looking at anything. I'm just kind of just, here we go. This political theater, right? There is a tide in the affairs of men, which taken at the flood leads on to fortune. Omitted, all voyages are bound in shallows and misery. On such a full sea we are now afloat. We must take the current when it serves, or lose our venture. That means now or never. You see an opportunity, the current serve, you jumped your ass on there with your own your own surfboard with your name on the bottom and on the top. That's what you did. But Nash, why are you defaming black people? Why? How are you doing this, bro? You didn't see those cowboys over there beating these kids with whips and beating these grown men and women with whips? I did. And it's very appalling. And they should be arrested for that shit. Because if they had any type of, I don't know, education about slavery, which Texas is actively trying to get out of textbooks, then maybe they would know. No. It's ingrained in their DNA. I got racism, nationalism in my DNA. See, here's the thing. America has a problem. The problem is the commercialism of America, of freedom, money, country, patriotism, and long life, including health. We project that to the world so that we seem perfect. Any real, common, decent American will admit that ain't the case. You got to work for it. You got to fret for it. You got to go against certain systems just to get a regular life. You do. Very true. But here's the crazy part. We know that. They don't. Now, for a lot of people who don't understand this about the Haitians, right? From those who come from Saint-Domingue. Oh, y'all didn't know that one, huh? A lot of these cats been trying to flood and leave from there. They have. They would bleach their skin, learn Spanish, and go to Santo Domingo. just to blend in, so that they would say that their skin was bright enough. And a lot of people made fun of them for that. But what they didn't know is they were escaping poverty, sickness, and gangs in Haiti. Now, if y'all wondering why I'm saying it like that, that's for respect of how they say it. That's why I said Mexico. You see what I'm saying? Canada. You get what I'm talking about? Chile instead of Chile. It's called respect. Some of y'all don't got that. Now, I'm not telling, my country ass white homeboy, all right, man, you want me to say Haiti? I'm not saying that, bro. But for me, that's how I do it. But how do we fix the problem? Well, here's the thing. And when y'all point to the Afghans coming here, I want y'all to understand this, and I hate to say it this way. It's non-comparable, but at the same time, it's highly suspicious. Because here's the thing. You have to go through a process. You have to be vetted. Presumably, all of those Afghan refugees have been vetted. And if they're single and beautiful, give me a call. Kidding. Hey. I'm kidding. I'm fucking with y'all. But you can't come to this country without us checking you out, making sure you ain't sick, and making sure that we understand what your agenda is here. Now, we should be taking in some goddamn migrants and immigrants, because a lot of y'all asses won't get off your ass and go back to work. Y'all talk about Haiti needs the COVID vaccines. Take ours. I believe the United States should stop manufacturing the COVID vaccine. For all you people who don't want it, all right, cool. But this is what y'all need to do. If you don't get the vaccine, you can't go to the hospital. Why would you go to a place that administers a shot for you to be healed when you didn't get the shot? What sense does that make? That's my personal opinion. You don't have to agree with it. Most of y'all won't. But I just find it interesting. But, Nash, fix it. You're the man. You can fix it. You're going to run for office one day. Yeah, all right. It's simple. It's truly simple. Tell Levi Strauss, raise their money that they're giving the Haitians. Any company that is doing business in Haiti needs to raise their pay to the Haitians. They are paying them pennies on the 10 cents. Then, let the Haitians choose their own people. Elect them. Then, what we need to do, if we sat up there and sat there for 20 years in Afghanistan and Iraq, we could kind of help them do the same thing in Haiti. Now, some ain't gonna like that. It's perfectly fine. But what about those who are constantly being killed? What about the stealing and all that shit that's going on? We can make them a haven. But that's not going to happen. I'm going to tell you what's more than likely going to happen. Once 80% of those Haitian migrants have been shipped back to Haiti, Biden is going to come out and you're going to hear about what he has to say. And then he'll do a little show of force and stuff like that and act like he's going to let some Haitians into the country from the border who have been vetted, who has all their papers. And then he will talk about starting a deportation from Haitians back to America only if they've been meeting certain criteria. Y'all know when I make these predictions, I'm pretty good on it. Biden will shift blame. He'll take a little bit of onus about it. And for y'all coming after Kamala Harris, I gotta ask y'all this quick question. Which one's the president? the advice president or the actual president? Because y'all know so much about politics. For those who talk about pointing at the Black Caucus, yeah, no, they're not the majority. Sorry. They can only place bills in front, and none of you idiots have ever looked and seen every bill that's been passed. It's on the federal government. Y'all don't even know the bills. It's literally, I think the average is, I think it's 7 bills a week are passed. And a lot of y'all couldn't name one. Politics. But hey, it is what it is. This ain't nothing but eyeballs. It's a distraction. Because the George Floyd Justice Act has not been passed. And ain't it curious? We'll run that video within the next hour. Or maybe 30 minutes. We get 1,500 likes on this, then I'll drop that George Floyd video in 30 minutes. Thank you. Appreciate y'all. Run my outro, please.
Y'all expect me to keep it real? Because you know that I will. I do this daily, baby. Check out the Nightly Nash podcast. Also, Street the Music Steady Nash if you have not. It's on all streaming platforms. Guaranteed you're going to find something you like. Probably like that overly thugging freestyle, or maybe something different. Let me know in the comments. We possibly shoot that music video. Oh, you want to learn how to win that free Xbox or PlayStation and concert tickets, or just a gift card in general? Simple. Be an active subscriber. What does that mean? The more you like, the more you comment, the more you share these videos, the higher your chances are increased to win. Simple. We're going to give away that specific item that you choose at 60,000 subscribers. That's 60. Make sure you increase your chances to win. This is free to y'all. It's only costing me. And I'm going to personally deliver it to you. How you like the sound of that? Cool? Catch you at the next video. Check out the previous videos too.